Hello to all my beautiful friends, those of you I know and those of you I don't. I'm so grateful that you're taking a little time out of your busy life to listen to what I want to share with you today. And for those of you who may just be tuning in, my name is Danae Fenty, and I am what I like to call a conscious lifestyler. So I work with people one-on-one and in groups, in corporate settings, and virtually to help you live your most conscious lifestyle. So for some that means working in the areas of yoga and mindfulness and meditation, quantum biofeedback. Others, it's cleaning up their diet or their pantries or their medicine cabinets or their products. I like to educate people on how they're subtly or not so subtly sabotaging their well-being, because I do believe that everybody has the desire to do what's best for them, and sometimes it's just out of our awareness, some of the ways that we are negatively contributing to our well-being. Because the truth is every choice we make, big or small, is either adding to our well-being or taking away from it. And I truly believe in our spirit's love for our physical body, and that our body is our temple. And so I truly believe that the more attention and care and the more that we connect with our bodies, the happier and healthier and with more longevity we'll live in this life. And so that's a little bit about what I do. Each month I share a topic with you that's on my heart, current in my life, or current theme in my clients' lives, that I believe will really help you to live more consciously. And I like having this conversation because consciousness is such a broad topic, and something that, while I could give you many tangible examples, is something that we can't always see or touch, and so it can feel a little out there for some. So I really enjoy getting to be a little bit more intimate and give you some direct examples in this time together. So I'm going to jump right in for the theme of October, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. And I have a few pieces of news to share with you at the end. But the theme for this month is actually a question that I want to ask you guys, and then I'm going to answer the question for you guys in this video too. So the question is, what is your superpower? I thought it was really fitting to ask this question this month when we're in the month of October, which is Halloween, where we dress up and get to be somebody that we want to be, or fantasize, be somebody that's more of a fantasy. And I also have been working on this a lot on my own, and so it just seemed really appropriate to share. So I wanted to share with you guys something that my teacher shared with me that was like an aha moment for me. And so those of you who are listening, some of you may be like, yeah, I know that already, but I think that we all can relate to having those moments in time where we hear something just the right way that it like opens our eyes up to new possibilities. And this did for me, so I want to share it with you guys. So my teacher said to me probably a month or so ago that nobody is special, but everyone is unique. And when she said that to me, it was like all of the bells and the lights went off, and I was like, well, holy crap, no wonder I've been having a hard time finding where I really want to put the most of my energy. And that's because I've been trying to be special my whole life, but I've never really been able to grasp that feeling. I am so connected to those around me that I would look around and connect with those around me and think, well, I'm not really that much different than those around me, so how can I be special? But when she said that we're all unique, I was like, well, unique, I can do that. I do that every day. I am completely unique. And with her saying that, it allowed me to start to, in even deeper ways, because I've already been on this path for a while, but in even deeper ways, really embracing and embodying my uniqueness, which is one of the reasons why I'm wearing this crystal crown right now, because part of my uniqueness is I have always, and probably will always, love wearing things on my head, like crowns and headdresses and hats. And a beautiful soul sister of mine made this for me, custom made it for me, and I know there's so much love in it. And I leave it in my car, and a lot of times I'll wear it when I'm driving, because when I'm driving is the time that I get nervous, and so I wear my crown and I totally embody being safe and protected, and of royalty, because I believe we all are. And if I believe that you are, then I need to embody that myself too. And so I want to share with you guys what I believe makes me unique. And then I want to share with you guys a couple ways that you can start to tune into this yourself. And then later in the month, I'll share even more specific tips of how to dive deeper into your unique talents and gifts. Because the truth is, no one's special, because we're all really cut from the same cloth. And what I do for myself affects all of you, whether you feel it directly or not. And when we can all light up our own unique gifts, we're serving our soul, and we're serving each other. And when we're all working in our own unique ways, the idea of competition, it won't even be something that we consider. What we'll consider and step into is living in more cooperation. Because if I see you completely lit up in your gifts and I'm completely lit up in my gifts, what is there to compare? So I think that's really exciting. And so to share with you guys what my unique gifts are, there are a lot of people who, with what I'm about to share about, use this, market this directly in their business. And for myself, since it's something that I've worked a long time on cultivating the confidence to really embrace, it's something that I use in my practice, but it's not necessarily what I advertise or lead with, but it's definitely totally shaped what I'm doing today and how I share things with others. And so what I want to share is that my greatest superpower is my sensitivity. I am insanely, ridiculously, wildly sensitive to everything. So some other ways you could describe it: I am intuitive, I am empathic, I also have psychic abilities as well. And since I was a little girl, I remember I always have noticed patterns in things. So like when we were in school, if there would be patterns of numbers, I could see like very quickly and just right there the pattern that was in between the numbers, whether it was, there's two numbers in between this and then every other one is -3 numbers or whatever the pattern was. And I have always been able to be in situations and I could be there for an hour, and afterwards I could go and write you a report of all of the ways that, all of the patterns that could be shifted in that situation to make things more harmonious and congruent. And that's really helpful in so many ways, and I've learned to cultivate it as a really great gift. But for a long time in my life, these things were quite a hindrance and actually led, for a lot of negativity and even physical, a lack of physical well-being for myself. I believe anything that are our gifts, and there are God-given gifts, that if we don't use them as our gifts, that they will become a hindrance in our life. And so to be somebody who is intuitive and empathic and psychic means that unless this is known at a young age and this child is given, the right attention and care and ability to tap into those sensitivities and see them as a gift, they can actually be very damaging. And I grew up in a family that had so much commotion. Everybody is such loving people in my family, and I really, have taken time to admire them for their gifts and love them all for their uniqueness. But for somebody who is intuitive and empathic and psychic, it was a really hard place to grow up in. One being that my mom lived in Texas and my dad lived in Canada, and so I've been flying by myself since a young age. I was always going back and forth. I had a really hard time of finding a sense of belonging because it was always go here, go there, and I would take in everything that was there and not know really how to sort what was mine and what was not mine. And so quite often I was taking on the emotions and energy of what was going on around me, and that led to some really destructive patterns in myself for a while. And it led to some times of isolation as well, because again, like I said, it's a gift, but those of you who may share this gift can really connect with when I say this. It can be really overwhelming to be in a room of people and all of a sudden have these feelings of rage in your body, and you have no reason to be mad or vengeful or rageful at all, but somebody around you is really projecting that and you pick that up. And you know, I'm not complaining about this at all. I'm just sharing that, you know, when I share in this way, I think it will help some of you, those of you out there, to maybe look at some patterns in your life that you may have seen as a hindrance and be able to find your uniqueness and your gifts within that. And so how I've been able to turn that around for myself is by, number one, radical self-care. I have to be okay with being completely different in the way I care for myself than anybody that I see around me, which means I cannot be in places that are too highly energetic, and especially if it's like the energy where everybody's partying and drinking, it's really loud, the sound is not contained. I cannot eat certain foods. I cannot touch food coloring. I cannot touch food additives. I cannot touch meat that is from animals that have been abused and slaughtered in awful ways. I've had direct experiences of that when I have. So I have to eat really clean and clear for the sensitivities of my body. I do not use any chemicals in my house. I do not go to businesses that use a lot of chemicals. I avoid them as much as possible. I teach and share about these things because I know there's so many other people who are sensitive souls out there. And I believe now is the time to really claim our sensitivity as our superpower, because everyone in this world right now is wanting more care in their life. They're frustrated about what's happening in their hometown and what's happening around them. We need more care. We need to connect more with each other and with ourselves. We've had a history collectively of finding ways to numb ourselves out. And so these sensitive souls, that's what we're here to bring. We're here to help others connect with their sensitivities. And when we can connect with our own sensitivities, both internally and externally, we automatically care more. That's kind of the after effect. You know, being so sensitive also means that I treat animals like I would treat another human being. I treat my food like I would treat another human being. If I were to hurt an animal or hurt food, because you can, it would hurt me. I physically feel it in my body. And you know, this is great. This lets me live with a lot of integrity and a lot of harmony in my life. And it has helped me understand the importance of boundaries. It's helped me understand that we can love people, but we do not have to suffer with one another. In fact, the more that you stand in your light and the more that you make it your mission to protect your energy and do the best to bring your positivity forward, the people that are suffering start to rise up. I was just listening to a book the other day, and they were talking about how the countries that receive the most support and the most handouts when you look at the way their country's progressing, they're actually in the negative numbers. And that's because the human spirit was born to thrive. And when we can create opportunities for one another through connecting and caring more, we can actually help them create a new experience instead of staying in the experience that they're currently in. And so one more gift that I want to share that I have, it is being a powerful manifester. So I'm going to give you just a couple of quick stories. You know, that's worked for me positively and negatively. When I was in a negative state of being, I manifested all types of negative situations in my life, like big time crazy things that people wouldn't believe if I told them. And now that I'm living more harmoniously and in alignment with my higher self, it's been really a blessing. So one day I was driving to work and I was thinking about how I really should start thinking about getting a new car. And so I wasn't worried about it. I was completely open and just kind of imagining what car I would like to have and when I should do it and really just flowing with it. The same day, someone backed into my parked car in the parking lot and I wasn't in it and totaled it, and I got a new car. I have stories like that over and over again, that when I'm in a clear space and I get clear with my intentions of what I want to create, that I can align myself with that very quickly. And it's these unique gifts that I have for myself, being intuitive and empathic and a powerful manifester. That's what I share in my work. I teach all of you how to do these things well, because the truth is, you know, we all have these capabilities because no one's special. It's just these are the unique traits that I was given to then be able to share with you guys. And so this is a little bit longer video than usual. So I want to quickly share with you guys a couple of ways that you can start to tune into your uniqueness. So the first is to take some time to really answer a couple of questions for yourself and to really feel into it and allow yourself to flow with these couple of questions that I'm going to mention. So the first would be to tune into, what are people asking you for? What are people asking you your help for? What are people giving you praises about? And start to really just write those down and see if there's any themes that you noticed. And then ask yourself, if time and money were not a problem, then what would you do all day? What could you do all day and lose track of time, not worry about what else you needed to be doing, not worry about the money you were needing to make with it? And then maybe compare those two lists and again, see if there's any similarities, and that will start to get you on the right track of finding out some of your unique gifts. And then the second thing that I want to share is about getting still. So in general, we live in a society that we're running on an adrenaline. It's go, 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 fast paced. People are doing like triple shot espressos, maybe more than that, maybe a couple of times a day. The faster, the harder, the better. And the truth is that we're actually putting ourselves in perpetual stress response. And when we're in perpetual stress response, there's so much that happens to our physical body, like our digestion gets messed up, we start to lose muscle tone, we start to gain weight. And particularly why I'm relating this to finding out your unique gifts is because when you're in a constant state of stress, you're not tuned into how you feel. In fact, the way your body responds to stress kind of makes you in a place where you are ready to fight. So you're not necessarily tuned into all the sensitivities of your body, and which we need to be able to really listen to that inner voice of, what do we want to create? What are our unique gifts? And, I just want to make a quick connection that living in this stress state is perpetuated in our society. It's perpetuated by our media. It's perpetuated when we are fighting against each other. It's based off of fear. And when you're living in a space of fear, you're not tuned into your uniqueness. You're not tuned into your intuition. You're not tuned into caring for yourself or others. And so to really live as a superhero in your superpowers, you have to get still and allow your spirit to, feed through you the answers of your soul. And it's really cool because when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for your life, or I should say what your unique gifts are, it's totally energizing. It fills you up. You feel better when you're doing it. You do not feel drained. And so thank you guys for listening to this longer message today. I hope that you start to tune into your unique gifts, and I would love to hear about what they are. If you would like, you can email me at info@danaefenty.com. And a couple of things that I want to share with you before we go. I'm going to be changing my name on Instagram soon. I'm going to be changing it to my name. That will take place on Monday, and I've decided to do so because when I created Miss Nutrish, I did so because I was mostly in nutrition at the time, and truly the bigger reason is that I was just on the precipice of really diving into my unique gifts more and more. And really, I just knew that I had a message to share from my heart, but I didn't feel confident enough to necessarily share it as Danae Fenty. I have always been in acting and really enjoy that type of work. And so in a way, Miss Nutrish was kind of a persona to be able to step out there with more confidence than I really felt that I had at the time. And now that I'm embodying my uniqueness more and more, I feel more confident to be Danae Fenty, even if none of you can spell that and can find me on social media. I trust that the universe will bring those of you who need the message to me, and I'll also leave it here so you can see it and learn it and memorize it. And then the last thing that I want to share is that I have some really exciting new offers coming up and ways to connect with me in the community. I have a new series that I'll be launching and sharing about soon that's all about connecting with sensitivity as a superpower, where I'll give you tangible ways to really first connect with what are your sensitivities, and then how to create your toolkit and ways to really thrive as a sensitive soul. So I look forward to sharing more with you guys about that. Stay plugged into my Instagram, my Facebook page, these emails and videos, and thanks so much for connecting. I can't wait to share more with you guys later this month. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and do you. Bye.